Welcome back again, once again. All right, so question 31, still on what our BC 2022 solutions, section A. So 31, factorize completely. Xy minus xm minus my plus m squared, right? So now let's see how best we can solve these guys here. So solution. So I have my xy minus xm. We put that in brackets because there are how many terms? Four terms. So we group them in what? Bracket. Then minus my what? My plus m squared. Remember, factorization is the reverse of what? Expansion. Factorization is the reverse of what? Expansion. Alright, so now what's common to this place and that? You can see that I can see x here, then also I can see x here. So we bring it out. It's out. So it's left with what? Y, then my minus, then my m. So it means that when I multiply through, I get that. Then minus, now what's common here? My m, right? M out. Then, sorry. Then I have my what? Y, right? My y. Now don't forget, negative times positive. We have what? Negative here, right? Then, now this m, there are two, but one is outside. So we have our one inside. So I can see that this guy and this guy, they are the same. So I just take one. Y minus m, right? Then I have my x minus m. 2x minus m. So we have this. So I said factorization is the reverse of expansion. So it means that when you multiply this to multiplication of two binomials, kindly visit my last videos. You can see how I expand these guys. Then you see that when you get the same answer as that, then you are right. Okay, so now our answer is what? Y minus m. Then so y minus m, then x minus m, y minus m, x minus m. So x minus m, x minus m, x minus m, then y minus m. So they've interchanged that. So, or you can say that to your x minus m, then y minus m. X minus m, then y minus m. So x minus m, y minus n is the same thing. Since multiplication is what? Commutative, so you can interchange that. So which is option C. Option C. Option C. X minus m, y minus m. So we have this. Adjoa traveled 12 kilometers due north and 5 kilometers due east. How far was she from her starting point? Right. So this time around, you can draw your cardinal point here. You can draw the cardinal point. Then you have the origin, which is the starting point. So now my north, I have my south, then my east, then my west. Right. So if Adjoa travels what? 12 kilometers due north, and Adjoa is here. Let's assume that this is Adjoa. So 12 kilometers due north. So from the starting point, move towards due north. 12 kilometers. Then and 5 kilometers due east. So 5 kilometers due east. Now they are asking how far was she from her starting point. So how far was she from her starting point? So now we can get something like that. So we can get a right angled triangle. Now, how far was she from this starting point? We have to find for the distance here. Right. So this length here is equal to this length here. So I can write 12 kilometers here. So now I get my right angled triangle. So 5 kilometers here, 12 kilometers there. Then I have my 90 degrees. We are finding for Adjoa's distance from what? The starting point to the distance here, right? So now you can see that we have a right angled triangle. So if you have a right angled triangle, what comes in mind? You have to apply the Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem. So the square on this hypotenuse must be equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides, right? So we add that. So we square that, then we add. We square this, then we add. It must be equal to what? This what? Squared. So now I can write using Pythagoras theorem. So I have my d squared must be equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. So my d squared must be equal to 5 squared means 5 times 5 plus 12 squared means 12 times 12. So I get my d squared equals 25 plus my 1 4, right? So I have my d squared being equal to 25 plus 144, which is what? 169, right? So what do? We have to take the square root on both sides of the equation. 169 here. So now square root of 169 gives us what? 13. It gives us 13. So now, but don't forget, when square root is coming, it brings what? Plus or minus. So we have plus or minus what? 13. But this time around, since we are dealing with distances, we don't have negative distance. So we just eliminate that. Then we see that our d is what? 13 kilometers. 13 kilometers. So how far was she from her starting point? So she was what? 13 kilometers from her what? Starting point. So that's the distance. So option A. Option A. Alright, so now let's see. A certain number is subtracted from 12, sorry, and the result is multiplied by 3. If the answer is 21, find the number. Very, very simple. A certain number is subtracted from 12 and the result is multiplied by 3. If the answer is 21, find the number. So now we can say that let the number equals, let's see, epsilon. We have a Greek letter here. So let the number equals what? Epsilon. Epsilon. That's a Greek letter. Let the number equals epsilon. So a certain number. So now we have our number, which is what? Epsilon. So our number, this number epsilon, is subtracted from what? 12. So when we subtract it from 12, we get what? 12 minus epsilon. 12 minus epsilon here. So now 12 minus epsilon, and we are saying that, and the result is multiplied by 3. This is the result. 12 minus epsilon. Now we are multiplying the whole of the result by what? 3. Right? If the answer is 21, so then that means the answer, which must be equal to what? 21. Find the number. You can solve this guy. Right? So now let's see. A certain number is subtracted from 12. It's very simple. Let the number equals what? Epsilon. So you subtract epsilon from what? 12. And they are saying that this is your result. Let's say subtract 2 from 10 and multiply your result by 4. So you subtract 2 from 10. You get 10 minus 2. So 10 minus 2, we had what? 8. Then multiply your result by 4. 4, 8, we get 32. It's the same approach here. Since you cannot subtract epsilon from 12, because this one is a variable, this one is a number, they are unlike 10, so you cannot subtract. That's why we left it like this. Then we multiply our results by what? 3. So now we can proceed, right? So now, let the number equals epsilon. So we have 3 multiplying this expression, 12 minus epsilon equals 21. How best can we solve for our epsilon? Now, straightforward. You can say that divide 3 by 3. We can divide 3 by 3 here because this 3 is multiplying that, so you can divide by 3. So I have 3 times 12 minus epsilon, can divide here by 3 equals 21 by 3. So this guy cancels. So I have 12 minus epsilon, which is equal to 3 goes into 21 7 times because 3 7 21. Then what do? We group like 10. So I have either you can send this epsilon to the right hand side. So I have 12, then this guy comes 12 minus 7 equals what? Epsilon. So epsilon is the same thing as 12 minus 7. So I get my epsilon equals what? 5. Epsilon equals 5. So very, very simple. Very, very simple. So you divide 2 by 3. Divide here by 3, also by 3. Now 3 goes into 21 7 times. You group your like terms or you transpose. This 7, positive 7, when it crosses the equal sign, it becomes what? Negative. Then epsilon is negative. When it crosses, it becomes what? Epsilon. This guy is the same thing as that. So I get epsilon equals 12 minus 7. So epsilon equals what? 5. So they said find the number. So hence the number is 5. So now you can fix it inside and see whether your answer is correct. You can substitute it inside. So I have 3 times 12 minus 5. Now 12 minus 5 we get 7, right? Then times 3. 3 7 21. So which is the same thing as that. Right. So now we have our option to be option D. Option D. Very simple. So now we have a football match starts at 2:20 p.m. and lasts for 1 hour 50 minutes. At what time will the game end? A football match starts at 2:20 p.m. and lasts for 1 hour 50 minutes. At what time will the game end? So now, for our time, we have 2:20 here. This 2 is what? Hours. Then this one is out minutes. Right. So now, they said it lasted for what? 1 hour. So which means 1 hour, then 50 minutes. So we have to add. We have to add. It started from 2:20, then it lasted for 1 hour 50 minutes. We don't subtract, but we add the times here. Right. So now 50 added to 20. Now we are adding the minutes, and you know that the maximum minutes we have to get is what? 60 minutes. The maximum minutes we have to get is 60 minutes. So we take note of that. So when it is greater than 60, we have to carry. Don't forget. So 50 plus 20 is what? 70. 70. So we have 70 minutes. And I said our maximum, which is less than or equal to, must be what? 60. Right. So now here, if it is 70, then we have to subtract 60. Because 60 minutes is what? 1 hour. 60 minutes is the same thing as 1 hour. So we have to subtract 60 minutes from here, from the 70 minutes. So if you subtract 60 minutes from the 70 minutes, you get what? 10 minutes. So we have to write our 10 minutes here. Then we carry the 60 minutes to this hours column. Now when 60 minutes comes here, it changes to what? 1 hour, because 60 minutes is the same thing as 1 hour. So we have 1 hour here. So 1 hour plus 2 hours plus 1 hour, we get what? 4 hours. So 4 hours. So we have this. So the game ends at what? 4 hours what? 10 minutes. So we have this. 4 hours 10 minutes, which is what? 4:10 p.m. 4:10 p.m. So our answer will be option C. Option C. So now that's our last question. Given that 117 is multiplying what? 12 plus 8, which must be equal to 117 is multiplying 15 plus k, right? So let's rewrite that. 117 times 15 plus k, right? So we have this. So they said we should find for the value of k. We should find for the value. What number is k, right? So now we can divide 2 by what? 117. Don't multiply. When you multiply, the numbers becomes very huge. So just divide 2 by 117 because I can see that this one can cancel that. So I said divide 3 by 117. So I get 117 times 12 plus 8 equals 117 times 15 plus 1 k. So I divide here by 117, here also by 117. So this one cancels, this one cancels. So I'm left with what? 12 plus 8 equals 15 plus k, right? 12 plus 8 I can add because they are like 10. 12 plus 8, we produce what? 20, or we obtain 20, which one will equal to 15 plus 1. Okay. Group like terms. 20 minus 15 equals what? K. 15 crosses, it becomes what? Negative. 20 minus 15, we get 5 equals K. So therefore, the value of K equals what? 5. Equals 5, which is option. Oh, let's see where I made a. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake here. Oh, here is supposed to be 18. 18. So 18, right? So we get our 18. So it's supposed to be 18. Supposed to be 18, not 8. So I get what? 12 plus 18. Okay, sure. So 12 plus 18, we get 30, right? So then I'll get 30 minus what? 15, right? So 30 minus 15, we get k being equal to 15, right? K being equal to 15. Sorry. So here will be what? It's supposed to be 15, not 5. So it's 18. So we have to watch carefully. 18. So the value of k equals what? 15, which is option C. Option C. Option C. All right. I believe you loved this tutorial section. All right. Kindly subscribe. Kindly like, share to your friends and brothers so that you can sit down and watch master tutorials. It makes maths very easy. Mathematics is very easy. Mathematics is very easy. Just sit down on your buttocks and start the necessary calculation. You will surely get there. Master tutorials where mathematics literacy begins. So let's meet on our next video. All right. Thank you.